This is the URT. We are the URT. You are the URT. Welcome to the URT. What an absolute disgrace today, people. What an absolute disgrace. I'm not going to any league games no more. I'm not going to any league games. It's no flipping point. Disgraceful performance. Disgraceful. From the manager to the players. Disgraceful. In the game before marking the Munich air disaster. Shocking from this football club. And they better get their effing money out now. INEOS and effing Glazers need to get their money out now and back this guy that they hired. Back this guy now. So I'm not going there every week in the league to go and get smashed. Shocking. Welcome, people. Got a big show today. I've had enough of this shit. I've had enough. Look at this stat here. 24 games. Only Everton 12 and Southampton 10 failed to score more often in the Premier League this season. 24 times. Most of you are out here blaming everything on effing Rashford. All of them need to leave. All of them need to F it out here now. Absolute disgrace. We could be playing for 3 more days and we were never going to score. 3 more days. We were never going to score. It's nothing to do with the style. If we play 4 or 2 at the back, we still get smashed anyway. We still won't be able to score. It's just that this system, you need attacking. I told you lot before and again, some of you. You need players who are on the wide areas, who are attack-minded. Instead, we got shitty Diego the lot. And now, horrendous, absolute horrendous today. Absolute dog today. Mazraoui, absolutely clueless. So it's nothing to do with the system. But in the wing-backs, you need players who can attack. You need players who can attack and go forward and take people on and can isolate somebody. That's what you need in this system. You 2 guys have to be out wide, pushing the other team back. Instead, they pushed us back. And Bruno, don't even get me started on Bruno. Don't even get me started on him. Don't even get me started on him. Mr. Hero, captain, take that captaincy of him now. Take it off him now. What's the complete right back, centre back, left wing, right wing? Stay in your effing position. He wants to try and do it all. Even at the lowest standard of football, you're not allowed to do that. Stay in your position. You're not the only player on a football pitch. You muppet. Absolute shambles. Mid-table mediocre teams are playing us off the park. They should have been 2-0 up in the first half. Crystal Palace should have been 2-0 up in the first half. Comfortable. We had 1 shot in that first half. I don't think we had a shot worth saving in the second half. No, he needs to get blamed today as well. Ruben, this is on you. With that shit fucking tactics, mate. Kobe, you lasted for 15 minutes. And you refuse to change it at half time. What are you doing? Send me a message, alien. Send me a message on Twitter. Send me a message, and I'll get you on. How was it better than the last game? The performance was shit, mate. I came here, guys, and I said, for this manager to work, what we need is to get the F out of the cups so we have more time on the training ground. That's what I said. I love the FA Cup. I grew up on the FA Cup. And I'm telling you, get the F out of the FA Cup so this guy can get more time on the training ground. Because I promise you, him and the team, he's going to get booed next season because he won't be able to get away with it. He won't be able to get away with this shit. The performance was shit. What are you talking about? It's only one team that was going to win it. We knew it. The players, Palace players know it. United players know it. Everybody watching that game knows it. We're just waiting for Palace to score. Then they're in control of the game. And it was always going to score a goal on the counter. Because when we're getting beat, you leave it all open. You take off Ogate. Eagle, like, listen, I've sent you the link. Jump on if you can. No problem. Now you bullied us today, Eagle. Like, you bullied us. We got bullied in every sense of the word. More physical, more winning the 50-50s, keeping the ball better, making the proper decisions on with the football. Other than that Kameda guy, I don't know what he was doing in that first half. He could have passed it across. It was a tapping for two of your players. We'll just get the super chat, man. Big up Mufc. These players are rubbish. Overpaid, overpriced. We're worse than West Ham. It's a disgrace. Everyone needs to leave. INEOS can do 1-2. Ticketing system is awful. Takes forever to get into the Old Trafford. Tell me about it. I won't be going to any more league games. I won't be going to any more fucking league games. -6 goal difference. Smash a like on the video, people. Smash a effing like on the video. It's the least you can do. Losing my mind here. I keep going. We got smashed by Forest. Smash my Bournemouth. Smash my Palace. Smash my Brighton. How many other smashes at Old Trafford? And in terms of creating anything, we're so crap. Every stage, we're so crap. Whether it's playing out, when a team puts the press on, we start panicking. And Maguire as well. All of you. If it's hoofball, he can head it all day, especially with central areas. If it's anything on the floor, on the second goal, why are you trying to play offside? How can you lose Mateta for the first goal? What are you doing? Exactly, S. Madison. Exactly. It worked for 15 minutes and he refused to change it at half time. That's on him. That's on the manager. Absolute fucking clown. What is he just waffling now? He's just fucking waffling now. This is all a waffle. Well, it's just a waffle now. I'm not even asked about what you're saying. You are an absolute fucking clown. But we're not changing at halftime. I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to think, okay, Crystal Palace away, I've got an amazing record. They have the best defense in away team in the league. They're the best team in the league away from home. So I understand. Rasmus battling them is not going to work. They play for three at the back. They've got a set, well coached. They're a proper coach team. You're thinking we can play a little bit. You should have put Bruno up there to be the false nine. Absolute disgrace. I drag this guy out with me. I take him with me to come there. I take this guy with me, Bombaye, and I say, come on, let's go and watch the game.
Hey, big up Therapy Army. Big up Nuruddin.
Big up, Rouhani.
Big up.
Rouhani, oh, me and him were both at the
big
game.
up.
How did it look on TV? How did it look on TV? I'm going to mute. I'm going to go for a piss. Go and tell me.
But I didn't know what was said before. I was coming in right now. Watching at the beginning, it was an okay game, you know. When I saw Kobe Mino started as a false nine, I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe the idea behind it is to drop him into the midfield. We have control of the game. We put pressure on them quite early, so maybe the fans have because it could have an issue to do that. The fact that we were playing home, so we did put pressure on them. But as the game keep going on, you will notice that Crystal Palace start getting into the game little by little. And the way they do that is just by keeping the ball a little bit, passing it around, passing it around a little bit. And then from there, you can feel the crowd getting silenced a little bit and our players running around, and they couldn't get the foot on the ball. And by doing that, they took the game away from us. So we revert back to what we used to be. Honestly, I don't see the difference between what this team used to be under Ole, under Ragnick, and what it is now. We always have that thing as we play in moment. We play in moment. We don't have sustained amount of possession. And when we do have that sustained amount of possession, we never play through the middle. We go to the side. We are a little ponderous. I'll see our players put their foot on the ball, waiting for the round. There's nothing dynamic to play. And in the Premier League football, if you're playing like your point of attack is coming from the wing, it's very difficult it becomes predictable. It's very difficult to take opponents by surprise. And Crystal Palace, they just have to sit behind the ball. I pull out the stats after the game. See, we have 63% possession to the 63 to they are 30%. We are more short. We have almost doubled the amount of pass that they had, but we couldn't do anything with that because when we have the ball and we always tend to go side to side and try to recycle it, and they just waited for us. They took their chances. Yes, we had a few chances at the beginning. We couldn't take them, but it's not good enough. If you want to win in the Premier League, you have to find another formula. I thought the idea behind this today is because Amorim, the most critic of Amorim have been saying that we need one more body in the midfield because he's building up with a back three. But as the game started today, a few minutes into the game, I saw Bruno dropping into the back three to make it a back four. And he was going, and I was asking myself, why we already one man shot in the midfield, building in the back three. Now Bruno is dropping to make it a back four. Who's going to receive the ball? That means we are two man short in the midfield. Is it because Kobe Mino is dropping down in the midfield? But then if it's the case, then how deep is Kobe Mino is going to drop? He's the false nine. So there's a certain point that he will not come past to collect the ball. So we are still 1-man shot or 2-man shot at that point. But eventually he rectified, and Bruno didn't drop into that back three to get the ball and try to build up again. But you watch the game and it looked like we play with a flat 4 up front, right? And the flat 4 is playing in front of the Crystal Palace defenders, which makes it easier for them when they play a through ball. The Crystal Palace defenders can easily step in front of the ball and intercept it. We barely have like any dynamism. You don't have like in the case of Crystal Palace, they have their 210 in there and they keep pulling us up and down. You know, when they are 10 dropping, their wingers will go up. So I don't mind. In general, I don't know how much time Amorim has, but he need to understand that it's not always going to be about the players. Eventually, people are going to start getting onto him. He doesn't have that much time. If he think this season can be considered a write-off because he didn't get his signing, he'll be dead wrong. Because next season is going to start with a higher pressure on him. You cannot go to bed with a nightmare, or you cannot go to bed with a sense of emergency and expect to wake up without a sense of emergency. It's just going to be even greater. Next season, when he starts, he will have the benefit of having almost half a season of competitive game to select his team or try to implement his system. And then he will have the preseason to get his signing and prepare them again. So he'll have ample time. People who have ample sample size to judge him. If he starts next season 10 games into it and he doesn't have a winning record, it's going to be a problem. People are going to start questioning him seriously. The experimentation thing should stop. You know, he have a preponderance to underestimate Premier League opposition. This is not the Portuguese league. You can do your experimentation like midweek against very, very inferior European opposition. But in the Premier League, there's a certain level of respect you have to give the team. Even the mid-table teams can hurt you. They can pass the ball around. So if you want to, why do you have 2 strikers with different profile on the bench? 2 strikers. I can agree if the strikers are the same profile and he wanted to do something and he think they don't have both the ability to do it. But if you have 2 strikers of different profile on the bench and then you're using a midfielder as a false 9, that's a little kind of stretch, you know, because it's not only about what the midfielder is giving you in a false 9, but it's also about the confidence level of your strikers who think that you don't trust them enough to play them in their trade position, and you rather play a midfielder there. So right there in the psyche of your strikers, you already
Luani,
yeah,
Luani, right? He played Kobe because he's like, we need to play on the floor, we need to keep it tight and needy, and maybe overrun them in midfield because they played a box midfield. They played the 2 guys, the Hughes and the Colombian guy, and then they played that Kameda Japanese guy and Sa. So they had the 4. Sa and Kameda weren't wide; they were both coming central, right? So that box midfield, he thought, you know what, pack that midfield because they played similar formation to us, yeah. They play 3 at the back, 2 wing backs, but their wing backs run our wing backs back because we've got we've got full backs playing as wing backs, and this effing club and these Glazers and INEOS are effing clueless if they think this is bringing a 20-year-old wing back who's going to solve anything. We need 4 players.
I understand your concern, but why you can channel
but
with
then,
instruction,
but
right?
then, they start Bruno start hoofing the ball. We're supposed to play on the
we
floor.
all know the nature of Bruno will come will always come like that. He'll go back to hoofing the ball. What I'm criticizing Amorim from is what you can do by changing personnel.
Let me just answer this question, Luana, in 1 second. No, I'm not the manager because I don't think. What did they promise him? He needs to fucking come out and tell us what did they fucking promise him, right? I'm not a manager out because I don't believe without him getting time on the training ground, I can't judge him. I can't judge anybody without having time on the players, a week to week, having time on the training ground. I can't judge the guy. I can't judge anybody. I never wanted this guy. I said he was I made a video and I said it's like a risk like Ten Hag was. He's never fucking managed in this league. This league is a monster league, man. You get found out.
No routine.
And then he keeps persisting with Diego fucking Dalot. So let's see what happens next month. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens in the next couple of weeks. If he starts playing Diego Dalot, I will be fucking this prick out. I would want them all fucking out. All of them out.
No routine. You say you can't.
So we go with 10 players on that football pitch every time he plays fucking Diego Dalot. And everybody fucking knows it.
No routine.
I don't give a fuck if he scores against FP, whatever the fuck they're called.
You can't judge him, you said, right? But he has to be able to be judged because this team is underperforming. This team is playing below the level that they're supposed to. Whether he has more time in training with them or not, that is his prerogative. He's in charge, okay? He has a squad of 22. If he's chasing the Europa League and at the same time he's chasing a position in the league, that's his problem. But if you put out there an 11 on a Sunday and they're not competitive at home, that's on you. That's on you. The players are you see, the issue people, we need to understand that when you playing players out of position, it's not only about their offensive output, right? When you surrender the ball, do those players know where they're supposed to be on the pitch in order to maintain the defensive structure? And that's exactly what happened on the second goal. We have one pass that cut out 4 of our defenders. How are we defending with 3 defenders? And we have one pass caught 4 out 4 of them, and we happen to have a situation that's become a 2-on-1. But we're supposed to be the one having the most defenders on the pitch. It doesn't make any sense. It's because most of those players are not playing in their position. You see, when you start playing with Rasmus and Xerxes on the pitch at the same time, and you're playing Rasmus on the right hand side, that means that you're going off script. You completely veering off script, and that's a problem. It's something he need to relax and come up with something that we can see the progress of consistently. Now you see, like, he's losing himself and he's falling into that little funk that all those managers fall in when they come in and they start losing themselves, over tweaking. They don't know what to do, moving players out of position. Because a few weeks ago or last week, he was inverting his fullback, his wing back. Now he's playing a false 9. What's going on?
He did the same today.
What's going on? Instead
of Ahmad going central, we get flipping Masraoui central. What the fuck is he doing with that shit? Let me bring Bombay in. Bombay, you were there. We saw it. Explain to people what you saw.
All right, so evening, everybody.
Wait, I've kept some of your questions back, people. Some of your questions, we're going to be answering them soon, towards the end of the show. So big up to everybody. Please smash a like. The channel is shadow banned. They don't want us to talk about humanity, right? So help us fight against the algorithm. It's the least you could do.
So, performance-wise, first half, I was all right with it.
What did we create, Bombay? You're all right with it. Tell me, at home, at Old Trafford, what did we create? Other than the first 15 minutes.
So, obviously, I'm looking for signs of better performances from where we are, which is pretty poor. So, comparing that to a lot of the other
Do you agree they should have been 2-0 up in the first half? Do you agree they should have been 2-0 up? Kameda got it wrong, took a bad touch, right? And then when Matete went through 1-on-1.
I mean,
should have been 2-0 up.
I don't know about that. Because
this
first
guy saw what I saw, but he's in denial. Bombay, you're in denial. You're in denial.
Because we had some really good opportunities too. They scrambled, off the line. We sustained a lot of possession in their half. Some really there was some good moves where we got in, flashed some balls across the box, and I felt that we'll go on and win this game. But second half came, and the game, we were a bit flat, and he played Kobe Mainu there today to try and get more of a foothold in midfield, which we did. I thought Kobe played well, to be honest. I thought he did all right. He was good on the ball. He took it in those areas, and he didn't do badly, considering he's been asked to play as our most forward guy. But I think when they scored, it got a bit. And that goal, my first thought was there's a push in Euro's back. I'm not sure if we'll see that on Match of the Day tonight. I thought we'd go to VAR, but we didn't. And that was my immediate thought. And I thought it's going to be ruled no goal. But when they scored, I felt, and we brought on Hoyland and Xerxes, it had to be for Kobe Mainu. Bruno's not going to go off, and you're not going to take Garnacho off.
1 second, Bombay. Mufc, jump on, Mufc. I've sent the link into the chat. Alien Tunnel, jump on. Nobody else can jump on.
And you're not going to take Ugarte off. You need him. So it's going to be Kobe Mainu, although it's not. He didn't deserve to go off. And then effectively, now we're a man short in the middle. Now it's just Ugarte and Bruno. And they brought Eze on, who changed the game, affected the game quite a bit for them. Got them out when they were deep, made some good runs.
Thank God he didn't start the game. We could have got beat 5. We could have held 5 today.
He's a good player. And then, we just got, that's the difficulty. We had a good foothold, control of the game. We don't create chances. We don't score goals. That's the biggest problem. All the possession that you have, and we had good sustained
possession. What's the point having possession if you're not testing the goalkeeper? What's the point?
It's yeah. What is the point?
What's the point?
It's fair, but you want possession, because without possession, then you can't do anything anyway, and that's going to be part of our qualities going forward, to have that possession. But we had it a lot in the half, and we huffed and we puffed. But the problem is, there's nobody in our box. So when we're getting those balls in, and Garnacho did succeed at that a few times, there's nobody there for that, because Kobe's not. He's not going to be able to do that. So the way that the game went and developed, we didn't take our opportunities, which we had in the first half. There was
half a chance. It wasn't anything clear cut. Listen,
there were opportunities, bro. We didn't take them, and then they scored, and now we got a different game once we decided to bring the two big lads on. With midfielders goes in their favour, and it's just going to be counter-attack from there, to be honest. But I felt today, the way the game finishes, you've got a bit of taste in your mouth, thinking, well, we've got to be better than this. It's another loss at home to Crystal Palace. And I looked at Palace today. We should win that game in my eyes, but we lost it. They scored a goal, game changed, it got away from us, we couldn't get back into it.
Right, Bombay, let me just bring in, let me just quickly bring in Richie. Richie, congratulations. You deserved it. Your boys were fantastic today. And I think it could have been 2 up in the first half, me personally. I don't remember these chances United had that Bombay is talking about. I genuinely don't. I think there was one, maybe the ball, Kobe, and it went past the post or something like that. Did it hit the post? I think we might hit the post. Yeah. But other than that, I don't feel doing anything in the game. And one from the header where Ugarte slid in and just had a lame shot, and it was comfortable for your goalkeeper. So please take it away. I thought your boys were fantastic. And I prayed that Eze didn't play the first half, because we could have been murdered, slaughtered in that first half. If it was Eze instead of Kameda with that chance, it would have been a tap-in all day. You had 2 on the line waiting to tap it in.
Why didn't he start, Richie?
So basically what it is...
and congrats,
thanks. Eze's kind of been carrying a bit of a knock. So he didn't train as much as he could have this week. So Glasner had said in his press conference that he's actually out. Then he trained yesterday. So Glasner was shocked, like, whoa, he actually made it back. So that's why he started on the bench. And I think the time he came on, obviously just after we scored as well, was great, because he just kept hold of possession. Regarding the game, and I'll be quick because I've got like 5 minutes myself anyway. I think first 10 minutes we we struggled in the sense of we didn't know how to deal with this false nine Kobe Mainu experiment. But once we kind of got grips of that, I thought we were very controlled throughout the game. Yeah, I'd say United didn't have any clear-cut chances. I think their final ball in patches today, especially in the first half, wasn't good. You obviously had the Bruno shot and the Agate shot in the second half. But other than that, I thought we were comfortable. I mean, if Kamada had a first touch, he could have had a shot, or as you said, rolled it in for a tap in. If Mitchell could cross or shoot properly, we might have had a few chances there. Mateta 1-on-1 tried to think, oh no, that went wide. You know, we had chances. We had loads of chances, and it was a very professional away performance. I mean, our away record's unbelievable. Our home form was terrible. You know,
Best defensive record away in the Premier League.
yeah, it's
Not even
phenomenal.
Liverpool. Liverpool are top of the league. They don't even have a record good as yours.
Yeah, and
What do you
with all
put that down to? What's the helter skelter?
I think I've always believed in this manager. I think we just had a tough time at the start of the season because we had 7 players coming back from international tournaments late, and then they kind of had to be rushed back into the side. So we started the season terrible. Plus, our owner never spends. It's a big problem. Like even like you saw Tyreek Mitchell coming off with cramp. We've been crying for a left wing back. We wanted El Haj Malik Diouf. Slavia Prague said, "Here's the price." We're trying to lowball them, and now I think we're left with trying to get Ben Chilwell on loan. Like anytime we want to progress,
He is NHS mate. He's A&E
Like,
mate. That's it. A&E Kidwell mate. That's what he is.
it makes no
And if they
sense.
palm them off to you, and then you have to pay the wages for a guy who's never going to be fit,
It's
do not
mad.
take that deal.
No,
Your guys
none
are
of us.
dumb. Your
None of us
manager's
want
dumb
it.
if he takes that.
No,
deal.
but Glasner doesn't want him either. But it's the owners being cheap. So like Glasner's trying to progress this side. Do you know how crazy it is? Bear in mind we won our first game after game week 8. We had only 3 points. We are now 7 points off 8th. We're 7 points off a European spot. Little Palace. This manager is working wonders, you know. And hopefully we can continue with that.
We've not scored a goal against you now in 4 games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you know what? If we would have played for 2 more days today, would have been 2 more days. We would not have scored 1.
Richie, can I ask you what you thought of our performance?
Be honest, Richie. Be honest. Is it the worst Manchester United team you've faced? Be honest.
No, just
Yeah.
give me. It's the worst Manchester United team you've faced. Fine. Objectively, how the game went. How did you feel, Man United?
Like I said, first 10 minutes, I think you had control of the possession. I wouldn't say you created anything clear cut apart from the Kobe one that hit the post. I didn't even realize until I saw the replay that Lacroix got a block on it. You know, so that might have just gone straight to Henderson otherwise. And then after that, can I be honest? Some of the football we were playing, I was like, "Oh, we're trying to pop this around 1 and 2 touch."
Yes,
like Will Hughes,
you did that comfortably. You bullied us in midfield. Me and Mumbai were at the game. What game were you watching? They absolutely balled us off the ball.
I thought,
what's his name? The Colombian guy. Bullying it. You played a box midfield with Sa and Kameda and the Colombian guy and Hughes at the box.
Hughes,
No, I thought first half, no. I disagree. But second half,
15 minutes, Bombay. Then they worked it out.
Look,
After the first 15 minutes, we did not have a sniff.
Bro, we had a lot of sustained possession in their ball,
what did we do?
but we couldn't get through.
How many times have we tested their goalkeeper?
Bro, there was a lot of blocked efforts as well that we didn't test Henderson. You know, that happens. But at the end of the day, the way that we played the game, we had sustained pressure in the Palace half for large parts. But we're not very good at creating chances, and we don't have anyone in the box today because Kobe is effectively the front guy. He wants a bit more control in midfield. Palace sat off and they're waiting for an opportunity to break. Seldom did it happen in the first half, in my opinion. I felt very comfortable in that we'd go on and win this game. But second half, everything changed, bro. Overall, I look at that performance and I think, man, what? I don't know what to tell you. It just went up, dissipated into nothing, really, the whole thing. We lost 2-0. We huffed and puffed, couldn't get it right. The guys that came on, we couldn't do anything. And in the end, we lost an important player for the season. So generally, I'm not telling you it's a good day at the office. I'm just telling you objectively, there are some positive things, and my gut feeling watching that first half was, we'll come out and we'll sort these out. These are not a big problem. That was my gut feeling. I was sat with Palace fans actually, but that was my genuine feeling. Then the second half, that was it. The game changed. I thought Eze came
I
on,
didn't
man.
see you. I didn't see the same first half. I saw 15 or 10 minutes after they got the grips with Kobe dropping in the hole, picking the ball up and connecting. After that, boom, they sorted it out within 10, 15 minutes. And the fucking coach, Amorim, kept it same half time. Kept it the fucking same at half time. Richie, I know you haven't got that much time. Mufc, I'm going to come to you. Lesser, I'm going to come to you. And Sean as well. Big up Sean. But talk to me, bro. Why are you not doing well at home? What's going on?
I don't know.
Is it too much pressure, too much expectation from your fan?
No,
I thought you were very unlucky against Brentford. I thought
Yeah.
you made loads of chances, could have scored loads.
The thing is, with our home record, it's not even that many defeats. I think it's like, Fulham, Arsenal, Brentford.
A lot of draws,
and
Richie.
And West Ham. Too many draws at home. It's just too many draws at home, you know. But look, I don't mind that. Listen, because if you're to be, my philosophy is try win your home games, get a draw away from home, then you're in a good space. We're winning our away games, you know, so we're doing better than we're expected to be doing, you know, and to keep clean sheets. Honestly, guys, a lot of people talked about Joachim Andersen, and that will miss him. Maxence Lacroix is the truth. He is the truth.
Who's that?
He's the one that kept your front line quiet.
Yeah, that's the centre half.
Richie, everybody does that.
The one who set up the goal. The one who set up the goal. Yeah. That's him.
Nah, man. You know what? Listen, at 17 minutes, the game did settle. The game did settle and pan out. And that, yeah, no, you're right about that for sure.
Let me just get a super chat. 1 second. Big up to everybody. One of the greatest masterpieces of all time. KO. But you know what? You're not going to win no league. So what does that mean? You're not going to win any league, my friend. You might be shitting Man City. Everybody's beating Man City. Everybody, even worse shit, we beat Man City. So what does that mean?
No, that can't mean there's a worse.
Richie, last word from you. Go ahead, Richie. Last word from you, bro.
No, I'm just going to say, listen, all the best for the rest of your season, guys. I don't know how we've managed to keep 4 clean sheets against you. Long may it continue.
Because we're shit.
And
Richie, because we're shit.
Up the Palace. Big up.
You know what? You know what? You were lucky in the game at Selhurst Park last season. You were lucky in that one there. We should have scored 4 or 5 in that game, yeah? Today,
earlier this season, yeah.
Yeah. Your ground, right? But today, I knew, and I don't know why I go. I don't know why I keep going to be fucking embarrassed by mid-table teams.
We were riding home on the bikes, and
let people know, Richie, where people can find you, what you're doing on the channel. Quickly. Go and check out Eagle Eye, people. Go and check out Eagle Eye. That's the channel. Go and check it out. Eagle Eye Football. Love Richie.
Take care, Richie.
Go ahead, Mupsy.
Yo, good to meet you. Hi, Noidin. Hi, Bombay. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I think kind of echo everything Noidin said. I think like the first half we were all right, and at the beginning, especially, we were the better team. We kind of had a few chances. We had like 3 corners within a minute, but other than that, second half was awful. We were just boring. The game was just really boring. And I don't use it for the sleeping games, but I nearly did today. Yeah. It was just bland and poor. Yeah. And I don't want to be the manager out because I know there's problems bigger than the manager, but Amorim needs to be criticised today. I think the biggest criticism is that the fact that he played Manu up front on his own. He did well as a 10 on Thursday, but to not play a striker with him, to not play Xerxes or Højlund with him was a mistake because we're all right defensively, we're all right midfield, but we want to attack. How are we going to score goals? We've not been scoring at home in a long time. We've been struggling at home, and we're coming into the stadium, getting in very difficult because of this new ticketing thing, which I criticised INEOS for. And we just come, and it's like, what are we watching? We're watching rubbish. it's a cold February, and all right, the weather was a bit better today than what we've had in the past few games, but it's just awful. Like, I want to see better. Like, it's going to take time. I want to see consistency because we're not getting consistent results. We go to Anfield, we go to Emirates, and we produce good results there. But then when it comes to Crystal Palace or Brighton at home, we just struggle. These players, they're not at it.
Yeah, big up, Mufc. Let's go ahead, talk to me. How did you see that game? I'm not going to watch any more league games. Fuck that shit. It's like torturing myself.
That was, as you put
I
it,
told you.
the blandest, most boring. It did get like that.
I told you guys. Don't waste your time with the league games. This club is I told you that these players are cup-based.
We're gonna get found out in the Europa as well and in the FA Cup. So I don't know what people we're gonna do good on them.
They'll get away with it. Funny enough, they'll get away with it because, like I said, they don't play these cup games every week. You know, unlike the league where you consistently have to play games and you can't get away with a lot of things. But in cup games, you can like somewhat get away with a whole lot of things. So, yeah, guys, it's sad to say this relationship between Amorim and INEOS is not going to work. You know, and I may be the first one to say that, to say this, but I think this manager won't be here much longer than what you guys think he'll be here. Because if you look at how he structured his team even today, it's simple. This is a manager that's crying out and he's actually pissed off. He's no longer has his heart invested in what we're trying to do. Because clearly you can see that he's going off what he's promised of. And they didn't deliver on that in the transfer window. I don't know if you guys are not seeing this, but there's a lot of red flags that are actually, you know, when I looked at how he set up his team, especially in how do you play Kobe Mino as your striker and not play a game without a striker? For me, that tells you that he wanted a striker in this window. It's quite obvious that that's what maybe he and the board may have agreed on upon, you know, before this window even opened. This relationship is not gonna last. I'm telling you guys, he will be sacked if he does manage somehow to last the season. The pressure will be multiplied by 10 times in the next season. Because I'm telling you now, I've seen this before. We've seen this before. I've said it with Tanakh. I've said it with even Solskjaer. I've said it with it's a repetitive pattern that does not really need to be analyzed. Honestly, because it's so obvious where this relationship is headed. And it's not because the manager is completely bad. You can't just look at one side. It's on both sides. INEOS, first and foremost, have been they've been average in terms of how they handled a lot of things overall. They haven't really done, you know, the way people speak about them, saying that, you know, they speak about them as if they've done something extraordinary, and they haven't done anything extraordinary. They've done the bare basics, but they still can't get certain of those basics right. You look at how they handle the Tanakh situation, extremely abolished. Like, you have to. It's disgusting how they handled that situation. First and foremost, I'd like to point that out. And then now you look at how the appointment from the Tanakh all the way to Amorim. It's disgusting. You should have kept Ruud van Nistelrooy. If you know you're not going to back the manager in January, you're not going to go all out in January. And I don't want to hear these excuses of PSSR and all these other things. If you know you're not going to be able to do what needs to be done, you just let the manager take over in the summer. You let the interim manager take over the rest of the season and handle whatever there is to handle.
Leto, I have a question for you, right? You said that he's setting up the team to send a message to the board. If he's the case, which I believe is the case, what kind of message is he trying to send to his two strikers down on the bench? Is he trying to tell them, you guys are not good enough to be a starting striker for me? And that's not right, because that will creep into their mind too. As a coach, you need to have a certain level. You have to tread carefully. You need to have a certain level of patience in your own system. You know, if you're making your strikers believe that they're not good enough, I'll play a midfielder in attack instead of them. You treading a fine line between losing the locker room and looking like a fool to the board as well. So he had to be careful.
Trust me, trust me, you actually on the money. That's why I said, I reiterated that this is a relationship on both sides where it has broken down. This is why it's very important when you bring in a manager, you know exactly what you want to do with the manager. You know what the plan is, you know what type of players he's going to want, you know, all these other things considered. Now, we have a problem where the board and the manager do not have not reached a concise in terms of a decision. You have a manager who requests this and the board that has a different direction. And guess what? It's going to clash. Right now, you have a manager who wants to get himself rid of this job because he regrets. You can tell that he regrets taking on this job as early as he did. And now we find ourselves in a situation now where we stuck in between a rock and a hard place. This manager won't last very long. I'm not going to lie to you. INEOS, the way they handled it, I was not really sure about how they were handling everything. Hence why I said I'm going to see and look in January. January will be the indication as to where we're headed. And I can tell you now that this man won't be here. If he does last the season, he won't be here beyond 4 or 5 months into the new season. We've seen this before. We have clearly seen this before. We've clearly seen this before. And I keep the same energy. I like Amorim. But, you know, one thing I will not take is a manager that literally, you know, loses a game before it even starts. The way we set up that team, that was called, you're calling for a loss. When I saw that team, I knew very well. I switched off my TV 15 minutes into the game. I knew we were going to lose the game. That says a lot. If you can do that before a game, and you're like, you know, you look at the lineup and you already have drawn a conclusion how this is going to work. I've tried to find every sensible way in any logical way in how I can see what he's trying to do. And you can see that that's a manager that's pissed off.
But you can't
There's
do
a clearly
that. You can't do that.
Yeah, that,
you can throw your toys out of the prime by
makes
saying
absolutely no sense to me.
like
as well.
that way. You
and
can't
and unfortunately, yes, and unfortunately, this is why I say it's a relationship. Relationship involves 2 or more people, right? And it's a broken down relationship where manager is now no longer has his heart set into this. Just like a player, when you no longer have, he no longer wants to play for your team and you want to get rid of him. We're finding a situation now where the manager no longer wants to be here. He literally does not want to be here. He does not want to be. You guys really undermine the situation right now. You know, one thing that this club has taught me, you know, in terms of how toxic this environment is within this football club, is that these managers they do check in very, very early. You may be fooled by a few results there, but you can tell in terms of the decision making, in terms of the way they set up the team, in terms of the way they speak in the press conference, that they've literally checked out. There is nothing they see beyond that. It's unfortunate, but now you see the problem is I look at this at the new ownership because they're the ones who let this happen. They should have known, you know, this manager plays in a different way. Every signing that they've made has no correlation with how this manager wants to play. There is none of those players most of them do not fit this style of play. Most of them, I wouldn't say none of them, but most of them do not fit it. So you find yourself in a position where this manager is now tired. He was promised clearly something in January. And clearly none of that actually came into fruition. So you find yourself in a situation where now the manager is like, nah, I dare you to sack me. I have nothing to lose. I'm going to walk away with a package.
You know what,
I'm going to walk away.
They can't even sack him because they don't have. They can't sack him.
No, but are we even
go to PSR.
serious here?
Look up to you. Go ahead, Sean. How you doing, Sean?
I'm good. I'm good.
How
A
you
bit
doing?
under the weather, but like this conversation is so fascinating because
Oh
it's
my
kind
God!
of
So it's added insult to injury, yeah? What?
Yeah,
Tell me
nah,
forget about the argument. What Lesso said. Tell me what did you see in that game?
No, it's related to what I saw in the game because it's amazing to me the lengths people would contort themselves in order to justify nonsense, right? You kind of talked yourself into a position previously, and now you have to bend yourself into a pretzel to say that actually the manager we just signed 2 weeks later, he's actually regretting the job and he's sabotaging his own team just to prove a point. Like that's absolute nonsense
Well,
as
that's
far
what
as
it
I'm
looks
concerned.
like. That's what it looks like
Um,
from the outside. I'm
I
sorry.
understand.
If you're in
It
the
doesn't look like
stadium,
that.
if you
It
watched
doesn't look
against
like that to
Brighton,
me.
if you watch against Brighton, that's what it looked like. Against
It doesn't
Palace,
look like that to me.
against fucking Bournemouth,
I
against
get
fucking
it.
Southampton, it looked like that. So
I
that's what it
understand.
looks like.
He don't know
I
his best
understand.
team yet, man.
I understand why people feel that way, right? But it doesn't look like that to me. This is a manager who, from the moment we brought him in, seemed to understand, right, that he wasn't going to get signings in January. He was clear about that. He wasn't expecting any signings. He said it by himself. Now, I know there are a lot of mind readers in the fan base, right, that read the tea leaves and observe how Dave Brailsford sat in the stadium and what finger he used to hold his phone. That can tell you how he really feels. But Amorim said, and we can quote, that he doesn't expect any signings in January, right? He's here to bring us some pain in the short term for gain in the long term. And the bottom
But if
line,
he come in January, if he knew he wasn't getting signings in January, why would he then come? He could have stayed at Sporting and won the league with them.
I
He
can
was
tell I
doing
can tell you
brilliantly
why he
there. So
came.
why
I
would he
can tell you
come
why he
to a
came,
club and not getting
Muggsy.
anyone in
And
January?
this is what I mean by people are trying to bend themselves into pretzels because they've backed themselves into a corner. He came because he backed himself as a good manager. It's that simple.
100%.
He rated himself as a good manager, and he came knowing fully well that there would be some pain, but he didn't think the pain would be this bad. He came and told all of us that he has an idea that you might not see results immediately, but you will see an idea. You will see some pain in the short term for long-term gain. What he never could have imagined was number one, I don't think he understood really how difficult this league is in terms of the opposition that you face. I think he said it himself that he did not realize how unmotivated the United players were. So he walked into a dressing room lacking severely in confidence. Those are some things that I think surprised him. But the idea that he was promised something in January and now he's being, I don't think so. I think this is just simply a manager who is
Sean, let
learning
me
the Premier
explain it.
League the hard way.
Sean, let me explain something
And
to you.
now
Sean, let you
because
finish.
and now because many fans, like I said, have talked themselves into a corner where the premise for sacking the last manager was that we could do better with this squad. And now we have a new manager that nobody wants to blame, no Rashford to blame, no McTominay to blame. So what do they do? What do they do instead? They say actually the manager is sabotaging himself, right? Because they can't reconcile with the fact that possibly this guy is making mistakes, despite the fact that we all back him and we all want him to succeed. Instead of us to just be open and honest with ourselves that this manager, under the pressure, is making some mistakes, we decided to tell ourselves a fairy tale that actually he has given up on the job and he's shooting himself in the foot. I mean that's it's
100%, Sean.
a fantastical story to me.
100%. You know, Amorim is not a child, you know. Amorim is a grown-ass man, and he walked into this job making with some written insurance and guarantees of what was going to happen. And he have if he had any doubt, he had the previous history of other managers and the way he worked out at this club to help him to know what he's walking into. Okay, what is happening right now is purely as a result of him backing himself, clearly underestimating the league, and now he's getting his ass dragged across the floor, and he doesn't know how to cope with the situation. So
This is somebody that's self-admittedly, I'm Lonnie, self-admittedly, he's admitting sometimes that gets emotional, right? Like he's having a hard time in real time in front of all of us. He's getting his press conferences are getting less and less sharp. You know, his answers are getting less and less concise and thought through. He's making some mistakes. All of that should be expected, right? And I think we should be able to have an honest conversation about the mistakes that our manager is making without delving into what I think are absurd conspiracy theories. The manager is making mistakes. Every time Mazraoui plays as right wing back instead of right center back, that's a mistake on the manager's part. Every single time that we see Dalot, despite knowing that he's, a calamity walking, that's a mistake on the manager's part. The choice today, when he came in, he said, "Oh, I like attacking players as my wing back, so I'm going to start with Ahmad and Garnacho." And all of us were arguing about how we're looking forward to seeing this manager improve the players that we have and bring something different out of them. Within 2 weeks, he went back to Dalot and Mazraoui wing backs, right? So he's not infallible, right? If you're a Christian, he's not Jesus Christ. If you're a Muslim, he's not Allah. Like there's no need to, I think, resort to an upside down, beneath the spyglass rendition of events. It's simple. Amorim is cooking beans. He's making mistakes with this team, and he's learning the hard way, right? He has made some mistakes in his statements. He has made some mistakes in his team selections, and he's learning the hard way. We wish him all the best, right? But he's not going to be able to sell 15 players over the summer and buy a whole new set of 15 players. That's not going to happen, right? So he needs to get more out of this squad than he's currently able to right now. That's his remit. Like there's no two ways about it. Nobody expected him to come and win the league in his first season, or to come and be second, or to come and have us competing with Arsenal and Man City. No one expected that. But we all did, and him as well, expected some level of pain, some level of a learning curve for the new system that he's trying to implement.
I'm sorry, Sean, I did not fucking expect to be balled out of the fucking park by Bournemouth, Brighton, and the fucking Palace.
Me neither, no, right?
What are you on about?
No,
what
so
are you talking about?
You guys,
what are you
the cycle
about,
home was wicked. He was not having it like
no, Sean.
That's more reason for you. That's more reason for you to be angry.
I don't mind getting beat. But I said the performance. That's what I talked about.
My brother, I do have a question. How many combinations possible did we have in the engine room?
Let me just get the super chat. We got say Miasin says Bumbaye. There's a new
That's not fun. I'm not going to let us hear what.
And his name's Nawari. Ahmad who?
Yeah, Zayn, I'm gonna tip my hat off to you today, bro. I've got to say, the guy that I think is really impressing me is Skelly. Looks mature, so confident. Liked him straight away, and today he was mint. You know what? Today, man, I can't say nothing. 5 stars. 5 stars. You should be happy.
So, my question, right? How many combination have we have in the I mean, in a double pivot so far since Amorim coming? We've seen Ugarte, Casemiro. We've seen Ugarte, Bruno, Collier, Ugarte, Maino, Ugarte. What's going on? That's
Maino, Bruno, Maino, Ericsson.
Bro, he does not know his best team, and he's still experimenting. He's trying to make a system work with players that don't quite fit it. That is a difficult thing. And I think coming in January, it seems to me he was supposed to come at the end of the season. Then it was either now or maybe never. What if they'd got somebody else at the end of the season? An opportunity. He jumped at it. He wanted to come. Now he's here. The shit's hitting the fan. I think with Amorim, I've said previously, it's going to be a season like this. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, you're going to be awful at some. But once he has his pre-season next year, gets a couple in, and has had time to work, 10, 12 games in, you start to think, hang on a minute, no, this ain't the guy. Or, oh, well, maybe. You know, we took over the team in 15th.
But Pumaye, he needs more breathing room than that, is what I think. He needs to be in a position where next season we're not watching the first 5 games or the first 10 games closely to know if the manager needs to be sacked. And he needs to get himself, he needs to buy himself that time, that breathing room, by getting the team to a respectable position. And this season.
Sure, I understand that. Look, different people are going to have different spans of time. I think 10 games, not to win all 10 games, to see, okay, this is what we're supposed to look like, and this is how it's effective. Make me a familiar make it familiar to me. Right now, it's Moani said something I thought today. Moments. We have these moments. We have 3-4 opportunities, chances, and if we don't take them, it's the end of the world because we're never going to score. And the problem with any manager that comes in now, let's say this guy, by the end of the season, he's gone. Just example. I'm not talking about that now. The next guy that comes in is going to inherit the shit we felt with Ten Hag. He's going to inherit the stuff we felt with Amorim subconsciously. Usually you'd give a manager a free hit first season. Even Pep got a free hit. But because we have been suffering from crap football, boring football, dull football, shit results, 1 step forward, 2 steps, it takes a lot less time for us to, like, what the hell, man? What's going on? And it's already happening with Amorim in spite of the fact that we know there's a lot of problems. we know there are a lot of problems. Players are not happy. They want to leave. The system doesn't fit the players that he's got. Came in mid-season. It's all over the shop, playing 3 games a week, no time to work. I'm not making excuses for him. End of the day, he knows if you don't start getting at least some points on the board, then you're going to have a big problem. But if you have a pre-season, that puts that to bed. If you bring a few players in and a few out, that puts that to bed. All right, now let's see it. You know, you've had time to work. I'm looking for like 10, 12 games. I want to see what we're supposed to look like. If 10, 12 games in, we're still looking like this, win a week, lose a week, no consistency, play good for 20 minutes, die for the next 30. No. I need to see something. Do you know what I mean? He's going to have to earn that time. And it was the same for Eric.
My problem with Amorim and where I think he's at risk is, number one, he talks a lot. Right, so this is somebody who came into the league saying, for the first 6 months, I only want to spend time with my players, locked away from the media. But he talks a lot, and he's very opinionated.
He does. He talks a lot.
He was being honest. He was being honest though. Eric Ten Hag was saying we need. He's going to end eras of Liverpool and City, but then I'm really trying to be honest. It's going to take time, but the thing is that he's talked a lot, but they keep asking him the same question about Rashford, and he got sick of it.
I understand that. I understand where you're coming from, but I think that's honesty is a double-edged sword, right? It's good when it's good and when it's working for you and when the going is good, right? In the initial honeymoon period, it was a breath of fresh air. This manager is so honest, but right now, the stage that we're in, when shit is starting to hit the fan, that honesty starts to look like waffling. It starts to look like you're talking a lot, right? So that's the number one. He talks a lot. And you put yourself in a situation where the British press, like they love bits, like they love it so much. They love bits, like they love the idea of, like, you know, putting Amorim under pressure or stressing him out, basically. But you know, if Amorim doesn't get himself, I think, together quite quickly, he runs the risk of becoming another whipping boy, basically, for these media, for these journalist guys. So when you make a decision like today, a decision to start Kobe up front, you put your credibility at risk, not only to the fans, but to the players themselves who are looking around and looking between Xerxes and Højlund. That we watched this for 60 minutes. What was the manager seeing here? What could he possibly have been seeing to justify this? But yeah, I mean, I back him. I just hope that, like, you know, these lessons that we're learning, right? That Nora is saying, we don't need to be losing, getting bopped around at home to Bournemouth or at home to Crystal Palace. I agree. I don't think we need to learn this lesson the hard way. And I hope that Amorim gives himself brains sooner rather than later.
Sean, I agree with what you're saying. Him being honest, I couldn't give a damn about him being honest. Is our performance honest on the pitch? If we're not honest with our performance on the pitch, I don't care what he says out there, being honest or not. It sounds more like now he's throwing his players under the bus, or he's throwing the ball under the bus. Eventually, he will find himself on a very lonely island when he continues like that. What I'm having issue with Amorim with is things that are within his control. Okay, the choice of personnel, the position in which he's playing them in, and the idea the idea that he wants to attack with. Our attack is a very predictable attack. The system that he brings in wants us to attack from the wing. When I look at the stats today, we have 11 corners to 0 from Crystal Palace. I mean, he's attacking from the wings. Every time I'm looking at us attacking, it's either Garnacho trying to take on 2 men or Ahmad trying to take on 2 men. It's too predictable. If you, in the Premier League, you need better than that. You need a balance. We are not able to play through the middle. If you're building up with 3 defenders, that means you have 1 person in the first phase of play. That person better be a specialist. That person better be a Rodri or something. But
then you got Luani, and then you got Bruno. Try to do it all. Try to do it all.
One person in the first phase of play, and that person cannot take the ball on a half turn. He cannot find the through ball. Bruno is not a first phase player. Ugarte is not. Okay, Kobe Mino, maybe we've tried that. It didn't work. Casemiro, no, he can't get a game. Ericsson, we've tried him there too. He doesn't have the leg. So why isn't that in this transfer market we are talking about that single position that's right there, that first player that can balance our attack, make it that so we don't attack all the time through the wings. If you notice when our first player get the ball, everybody else is far from him. He doesn't have the 10 don't drop down enough to combine with him, and the wingers, the wing back don't invert enough to be close to him. We have to be able to create a quartet that can pass the ball right there in the middle so that we can set the trap for the opposition, congest them in the middle before playing it to the wing. We don't do that enough. We try to go directly to the wing from our defenders. And he's way too predictable. He has to be able to, if he's that first base player that we need to come in. That's right now. I'm looking at. That's the most important player.
Luani, it's not just that. Luani, it's not just that. To play with 5 at the back, you need the 2 wing backs to be able to isolate players. They're supposed to be the people that can beat people and go on the offside and combine. We've got 2 guys. When we play with Diego Dalot, we play with 10 men. He plays against us. I've seen it. I've seen it all season. I've watched this shit. He's playing against us. Yeah, he gets picked every minute, every fucking game.
No routine.
Masraoui now is looking like dog shite. Today he was one of the worst players on the fucking football pitch.
Lurudin, let me tell you something, right? You say our wing backs are supposed to beat their defenders.
They're supposed to take people and go up the pitch.
Okay,
and put the wingers and the fullbacks back. Help us push the team back.
Okay, from the perspective of a defender, right? I'm telling you right now, if your point of attack is coming from the wing, if I as a left back, a winger is trying to beat me, it's a 50-50. It's easy for me. I'll just close the inside and show him on the outside. That's it. And how many times did we cross the ball? And how many goals did we score from that?
No, don't cross the ball. We don't cross the ball because they can't. Both of them can't fucking cross because they're not wing back.
Exactly, and the opposition knows that. So it's up to Amorim because everybody does their homework before coming to play you. It's up to Amorim to know that our attack is way too predictable. If it's Ahmad on the other side, they're gonna put 2 people on him. If it's Garnacho, the other left back. The other right back will get help. So when it's like that, you have to redirect the point of attack to what I'm perplexed about is that why didn't we try Eriksson and Kobe Mino in that 10? If you know you want to drop Bruno, Bruno is undroppable. Fine, put him in a double pivot with Gatti. Put Eriksson and Kobe Mino in that 10 because our 10 always receive the ball back to goal. It's rare that you see our 10s receiving the ball, facing the goal, or you see them making a run, and we have somebody right there in the last phase of play of the opposition facing the goal and putting a through ball in that our striker can just score from. Every time they're receiving the ball, it's back to goal. They have to pop it off and make a run, and it doesn't work.
Big up to Sunshine FC. Make sure you check her out across all social media. Big up, Queen. I hope you're well. After 15 minutes, stopped working, and this donkey of a manager didn't flipping change it. He continued still half time.
Well, don't
they went out after 12, 15 minutes.
Donkey now. He's
a donkey. He's a fucking donkey because he keeps fucking making the bullshit mistakes. He is a donkey. He is.
He thought he was a
people. Big up. Listen, there's over 300 of you in here. Smash a like on the video. We're not even at 200 likes yet. And we'll be
like the video, guys.
Mufc, listen. Where do you think where can we see better sunshine out of here? This is where I agree with Lesso, and I disagree with you, Luani, and I disagree with Sean. Why the fuck did they say to him, now or never, Amorim, and without not telling him? You know, in the summer, they interviewed him. Do you know that? They interviewed him. They interviewed De Zerbi, and they interviewed Tuchel. And guess what? They said at Amorim, no point in you coming because we don't have a player to suit your system. What's
Nah,
the point of getting them back as a coach who plays?
No.
Luani, let me finish. Somebody's got me on the echo. Who's echoing? 1 minute, Mufc. I think it's your echoing. So do you want to jump out and come back in? I'll say this, right? What's the point, right, of hiring a coach who's got a distinct way of playing if you're not going to get players to play in his system? What is the point?
This is Nuruddin. Dino, you're right, bro. But this is what we've been talking about. Is he showcasing the team on a weekly basis to say to the owners, this is what I'm working with? And he keeps saying, I am not changing. It's either you get me the players, which is the reason you brought me here, is because you like what I do. I'm not changing. We all can see clear as day, fullbacks, especially the left side, is killing us. They don't know how to attack the space. And that's why, instead of using Garnacho and Ahmad to put in balls, we should have 3 guys in the box and somebody making a late run in to find people. It should be those guys that are the right wing backs, the left wing backs, that allow us to get numbers in the box and allow those Garnacho and whatever to become inverted in the box. You have to be able to do that. And at Sporting, he played with attacking players who he taught how to defend. Here he's saying, I need to play with defensive players who hopefully can attack, but they can't
We're
attack.
Still getting bopped though.
I know we are. And what I'm saying to you is, we need some new players, especially in those areas. It is killing us. They don't know what they're doing in the final third. They don't know how to exploit space in front of them, take space when it opens up.
Yeah,
You're having guys like Garnacho is the guy, bro, today. That is expected to putting balls into who you can only cut back to Bruno or Kobe Mainu, because Kobe's not going to go into that space, not his game. So today there was balls flashed in, bro, and there was good things, but in the end you think we never score in a header. We never. It's half-assed. The balance is completely off. I understand what he did today. He got his control, but bro, we don't score goals. We just don't score goals.
We don't score goals. We don't even look like we're going to score goals.
Yeah, we don't even look like we're going to score.
Big up
Exactly.
Alicia thinking over, by the way. Alicia's thinking over. Thank
Big
God
up
you're
Alicia.
here.
Bombaye, you say
we
need more. We need new
Smash
players.
light.
That's the common theme of every manager we've ever had. The issue here is that, is he getting the best of what he has?
Do you think he is?
If he's not, so why justify giving him new players? You have to show something first.
No, bro. You can't bring a manager in who is going to play a completely different way with 3 at the back and wing backs. The only other person that did that successfully and won the league is Antonio Conte. He brought Victor Moses out of the reserves and he brought Alonso. Look at the work. Look at the goals and assists they got that season. That's how you're supposed to make this thing work. Victor Moses was amazing that year. Alonso was unbelievable that year. We don't have these guys. They're fundamental to the way, Nuruddin's right, they're fundamental to play this system. You have got Mazraoui, bro. They're low. They don't understand how to play this. You're not going to get a whole new team. He knows that.
Look at this
but
shit.
You've got to give him some players, bro.
1 minute. Let me just read this. Breaking insiders playing down the prospects of Manchester United signing anyone on deadline.
And bro, Luani, look, we're selling Luani.
And Christopher are regarded unlikely.
Dino,
can you be surprised though?
That. But Luani, another thing, he's telling them you can sell Rashford. There's money there. It's not like I'm asking you for a £60 million player. Okay, sell Marcus Rashford. You want to get Casemiro off the books? Get him. Look, I'm not even playing him. You know, I can subsidize the signings that I want.
Maybe I'm just a little skeptical, you know, because there's another team that played the same system in the Premier League and they're in the relegation battle. So
who?
I don't know. The Wolves. They played 3-4-3 as well.
No, listen, at the end of the day, I want to hear from Letso. Letso, I agree with the majority thing that you said. This coach was supposed to be backed, and specifically in the areas that are key for that 3-4-2-1 system. You need the 2 midfielders, one of them, 2 of the 8s, one that can pass the ball, like Luani said. That's where I agree with Luani. That can get us out of that first phase of play, right? Somebody who's good can get us out of that first phase of play. And then you need the wing backs that are able to isolate people and take people on and get good balls into the box. but we don't have either of those. And now these pricks, Spineos, are saying there's no prospect of signing anybody other than this 20-year-old. A majority of the fan base think this 20-year-old is going to save us.
Nah. This is where the logic now runs out the window. You know, it's simple. These guys should have known what this guy is all about, what type of system he's going to implement before even, before bringing him into this job. And now for them to come back and not back this guy.
1 second, let's go. Sunshine, we don't just need win, but we need number 10s as well. People forget we need number 10s. We need number 10s that can score goals and can create.
We need
this is why
because we not had anyone scoring goals since Oli.
Yeah.
We struggle to score.
This is why, guys, I said that they should have just kept. If you don't have a plan, don't force something. And that's why I said INEOS, that's strike number 1 for me. It was the right day where they appointed this guy midway through the season, because I knew very well that this January was going to be very difficult to try and back this guy, and as well as trying to get him the right players through the door. That's strike number 1 for me. That's mismanagement. They didn't think about this going forward. And it was just a disaster, to be honest. And it would have taken a miracle, to be honest, for all of this to work out. Because already you're starting off the wrong footing, wrong manager
Luane,
at the wrong time.
For anything, Luane, listen, Alesso, I'm not asking for anything. I said I don't care if we get beat. I don't care where we finish. I said show me performances, something to build on for next season. Show me performances. Exactly. That's all I've asked for.
Exactly. And we don't even create we hardly create chances anyways. And unfortunately, we're a team full of players who should not be there. And a lot of work needs to be done around this football club. INEOS, unfortunately, are not going to be successful at this football club. I'm sorry to say it. For everyone who's hopeful out there, reality is these guys are making the most basic mistakes I've ever seen. You cannot be making the mistakes that they're making and actually back them going forward. You look at firstly how they handled the managerial position with Ten Hag, keeping him for another season. And I said this. It's a disaster. Why are you letting another manager through the next season if you know you don't want him there? Why go out and search out for managers right in front of him and then keep him on? Like those sort of things, guys, they need to click at some point that these guys don't actually know what they are doing. That is why they're not successful at any sports institution that they are part of. You look at the cycling team, you look at the football side of things. There's nowhere where you can point out and say, these guys have been successful and been number 1 and the best at it. That's the problem I had with this whole thing from the get-go. These guys, the Glazers were, by the way, I want to reiterate this and very clear for the fans out there. The Glazers were ready to sell. There's a reason why they included Jazim there. It's because they wanted a reason not to sell, but they knew inevitably they would have to sell because they only had 1 more season in terms of cash flow to keep this club afloat. This is the information people forgot altogether. If the INEOS never sanctioned that kind of a deal that they did with Sir Jim buying part of the club. Sorry about that. If they never sanctioned part of the deal buying in percentage of the club, the Glazers would have sold even inevitably to Jazim. Because there was no money up there. There was no money. People are trying to, I don't know what it is with the syndrome with Man United fans, but people have this thing, they're trying to cope with the situation. The reality is, unfortunately, these guys have, this project is way above their heads. It's way above their heads because they've realized now that it requires, you need real investment. You need real money into this. We're broken down to the point where there's a lot of money that is needed into this football club. You need to clear the debt. There's several things you need to do. The infrastructure is it's all over the place. You need real money to do what needs to be done here. You can't do things and try and cut costs. Wherever you are trying to cut costs, you need unlimited funding for this sort of a project, because that's where the Glazers took us in. And that's the reality. And unfortunately, they're going to learn the hard way. You know, this INEOS copism that people are on right now, unfortunately, it's gonna land badly on their faces, because we've seen this a lot. We've seen this a lot, guys. We've seen this a lot in football. We've seen this at Newcastle with their former owner as well. He didn't realize it as well, how badly Newcastle were run before he got into there. And unfortunately, it is what it is. And it's just gonna end badly, unfortunately, for everyone involved. And the Glazers, they need to go. The only way this club will get to where we need to get, the Glazers and Jazim need to go, and Jim need to go. That's the only way you're coming back as a football club. Because reconstruction has to start from the bottom. Reconstruction has to start right from the bottom. You cannot fix a house without starting with the foundation phase. If you want to rebuild something, you start at the foundation phase. They don't have the money for that. They do not have the money for that. You can see how they are addressing things. They're trying to get rid of personnel. They're trying to do whatever they're trying to do. It's not working. It's not enough. Soon they'll be raising another ticket sales. Read the room. You're not playing entertaining football. You're trying to raise tickets. Who's going to facilitate for that nonsense? Eventually, people are going to get tired of that. It's not going to be worthy. I'd say it's not going to be conducive for people to invest in coming to wanna watch Man United. If you're not even on the pitch, you're atrocious. People are going to walk out eventually and say, this is not worth it. This is not worth my time. This is not worth my money. I know they're trying to phase out the people, the people that actually go to the games, you know, the working class and everything. But even the people who are high up there, they're there for entertainment at the end of the day. If they do not see entertainment, they're going to walk as well. So the on-pitch thing is just atrocious. The running of the club behind doors is atrocious. There's no structure. You tell me about structure. People are being overruled in decisions. I can see our structure right now. You know, they got rid of the sporting director. I'm not going to be surprised if the CEO also leaves soon. I'm not, but rather I could leave very soon, because he does not want to be associated with this kind of nonsense as well. He's a man that's built on reputation, and he walks as soon as something is overruled over him. He's a CEO after all. That's what he was promised. So I could see a whole lot of these guys. I could see them walk. I could see them walk.
So to add to what you just said, we went to, a lot of people got excited because we went to City and we took their director of football. And
he's not a director of football. He was a
CEO. Their CEO, Omar Barada, right? So
he wasn't a CEO. He was a CFO.
He was their CEO. Okay. So most of the people forgot. We tend to forget that the success of City is a combination of the structure and the money that they threw at it.
And the cheating as well. And breaking the rules.
Why
can't we fucking break the fucking rules, Lowani? Why can't we? Nottingham Forest broke the rules. Everton broke the rules. Leicester City broke the rules. They're still in the fucking Premier League. Why can't we do it?
We took their CEO and we forgot to loan some money from them. So this is where we are today. It's not just gonna happen like that. Even if you throw money at the problem, that doesn't even guarantee you anything. The Premier League is growing fast, is growing in money getting pumped into it. More teams are growing up in quality. So tomorrow is not even a guarantee. That's why when he came out and he made that promise about the challenging for 2028, that made me laugh, because at the end of the day, when everything is said and done, we have to earn everything. We will have to earn our place to be even in mid table, earn our place to be in top 4 before earning our spot to challenge the league in the league. So I'm a little taken aback, but it's been a while now that I've not tried to be emotionally involved in what this club does anymore. There's a lot of fun there. Like Leso said, they are coping really, really, really hard. You know, they've given INEOS a pass without even having any history of success from them. All the data we have suggests to us that they are stingy, that they don't run things properly, and I don't know where the The confidence, the vote of confidence is coming from the fans.
If this manager goes, I don't want to go for another type of manager that plays sexy type of football that is doing things in some great place. Because that football is not going to translate here. Because one, there's a lot of problems here. And one thing you said, Nuruddin, that I will 100,000,000% agree with. And I didn't always think this, because we've had Ferguson for so long, and then we had a household name in Van Gaal and Mourinho and Oli. Okay, not bad. But then we shifted to the type of manager that everybody thought was the answer. Let's go and get Ten Hag. Look at the football he plays. He'll make us mint. Okay, let's try that. He saw, I can't play that here. Amorim is the same. We've gone and got a guy who's very hot property at the moment. Liverpool were linked. We snagged him. He's plying his trade. He's done great things in Portugal. These guys have deficiencies. There are certain question marks over this type of person. Like you say, he's only managed in Ajax. That Dutch league, Ajax, everybody plays technical football from the academy. It's already there. Yeah, he brought them back, brought in the players, really good, brilliant. Amorim is playing in Portugal. He's earned his stripes, but I don't want that. I don't want to play a manager. I don't want to get a manager that just plays sexy. I want a manager that has got big experience again. Just because we had Van Gaal and Mourinho, that's nearly 10 years ago now. 2016 Mourinho. So it doesn't mean, we've just got two of the hottest managers in the last 3 years. We've had two of the hottest. So far, jury's out. Let's be honest. I'm not saying anything about Amorim yet. Too early for me. I'm going to wait. But I want to go back to a guy that's been here. He walks in, this is Man United. I've been everywhere. I was a top player. I want a guy that's going to bring, not sexy football, stability. Maybe for 2 years, 3 years, then pass it on to Ten Hag, then pass it on to Amorim. That's fine. That guy that I want might not be the answer. But right now, man, everything that is fundamental about a team, about football, we don't have. It's a soft underbelly. The mentality is horrendous. No, we don't have it. And we're trying to play straight away.
$1.5 billion in 12 years. And
I know we
did.
Some
of the physically weakest footballers
I
have ever seen in my life. Big up to Ibra. Ibra says here, quality manager. But we don't have players to suit his system. United don't have the money. He needs 2 strikers, at least 3 midfielders, and 2 wingbacks. No, I agree there.
You're not getting that. Not under INEOS. You should know that already. And when we spoke about Amorim, I said to you, if this guy
did they hire him then, did they hire him?
There's a midway point, bro. If he comes in, he's not getting an overhaul, 400, 500, 600 million. That's not happening. No way. He's gonna have to earn that. He's gonna get a couple of players, like any manager will. He's not getting an overhaul. Yes. No way. If he comes in, do you think they're gonna take him if he says we need 7, 8 new players? They're not taking him. Because they're not going to spend that kind of money. And we don't even know the type of players that he wants and what they're going to cost. These guys are cutting jobs of normal people. They're raising prices. They're getting rid of the players, if you notice, on the big money. They're bringing in young players that take a lot less money, prospects that we might be able to develop. Look at everybody you've signed. They're all youngsters.
This is what I'm saying about these
bro,
shit,
I'm not going to say...
Even with the Mooney-Busby-based anniversary, right? They don't even turn up. They're cowards, man.
You need... right. That's exactly why you don't need these types of managers, because people think we're going to automatically play that football. You're not. They're not experienced a club this size. They don't understand the pressure and the expectation that comes with this job. These players, man, need somebody that is just going to kick some ass. And when he deals with the board, you're not teaching me how to suck eggs. My record speaks for itself. You're not an exception to me. I've dealt with clubs this size before. I know what pressure is. I walk into clubs that are fucked anyway, and I rebuild them. I know the manager that I want. I'm not going to say it because you guys all get off. But stop with these sexy managers. You're not ready for that yet. You need to have a mentality, structure. Come in, get them playing the base.
Most teams in world football now play the modern way. They play good passing. They keep ball and possession. Majority of teams do that.
Yeah, majority of teams fight. Majority of teams have good mentality, good team spirit.
Who's there to fight for it? Is that what you want?
Maybe it's the use of
that's not. I swear, that's not what. That's not what he's doing, bro. Come on.
Maybe it's the use of the word sexy, Bombaye. You need to use another word. What
You
am
know what I mean, bro?
Yeah, what I'm worried about is that we keep talking about getting him new wing backs. When you play in a 3-4-3, okay, your wing back have a similar task to when you play in a 4-2-3-1.
The weak man.
Your wing
Sorry,
back,
bro.
they have a similar task, right? As if you play in a 4-2-3-1 with the wingers. We saw Arsenal today versus City, and we saw Mamouche on one side and Savio on one side get locked up. The Premier League is a different breed. If somebody low block you for 4-4-2, you're done. Your wing backs has no space to run to. Okay? Our point of attack need to be in the middle. City lost what they are because they lost their first phase player, Rodri. Today, they didn't have that first phase player. They tried to use Kovacic. It did not work. And then when Foden was getting the ball in between the lines, he was getting dispossessed. The issue in the Premier League, if you're trying to play and you don't have your first phase player and you don't have that number 10 that can play in between the line, you are toasted. You become predictable. That's what I'm saying. The wing backs might not solve our problem at all.
Luani, do you look at any personality in this team and think, "Woof, Warrior, he'll get them going today. He'll G them up." Do we have anybody?
It's today's generation. I'm sorry, I might sound old, but it's today's generation. Look, I'm looking at the game as a whole, right? I watch a lot of Premier League, and all I'm watching is these kids. They shoot on goal. The ball goes, the ball is still into play, and they're turning their back on the ball and holding their head. And I'm like, really? It's today's generation. That's what they do. Everything they do is for the camera. You know, ball is still in play, and these guys are turning around, holding their head. Like, and today, on the first goal, seriously, I'm not sure about Onana, guys. You know, I'm selling my stock on that guy. You are a goalkeeper. You 2 yards away from your line. Okay, the ball get headed, no power on it, but it's a low ball. You can just take 2 steps back and punch that ball over the bar. What's going on? Why is he so heavy-footed?
Listen, I want to hear from Mufc.
Oh,
Mufc, can you lessen the echo? Why is it so echoing? Go on. You there, Mufc?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm not sure why it is echoey, to be fair. Maybe I've not got headphones in or anything, so I'm in a quiet room. I'm not even
it seems all right now.
Background. Yeah, I think because I'm speaking when I'm silent, it's probably detected sound and stuff. But what do you want to hear from me, Norden?
Where do we go from here, pal? Where do we go from here? INEOS, bring a manager who's got a set system of playing and they're not backing
Go
it.
down, baby. Down is where you're going.
Yeah, I can't see anything. And to be fair, with what Mumbai was saying about the getting a manager with stability, I don't think that's going to work either. Because these players are just big crybabies and stuff. They're not going to allow it. There's going to be a lot of fighting in the dressing room. That he's going to lose the dressing room, but then he's going to be sacked as well. We do need a manager with style, but these players are not going to suit it. The thing with INEOS is, though, if let's say Amorim doesn't work out, what they need to do is sign a manager that's similar style of play to Amorim, so that way we're not wasting our money on signing wing backs and stuff. That way we can get someone that can improve the players, because at the moment it's not working, but it's going to take time. But unfortunately, the fan base doesn't have the patience for it. Yeah, we can wait till the end of the season, but where we are in the Premier League now is very dire position. It's just tough. And like you said, that we should get out of the Europa League, but I think it might be too late for that. Yeah, we've not got
We're going to get knocked out sooner or later anyway. We come against
but we're kind of
Atletico
favorites.
Bilbao. We'll get
People are
fucking
saying they're
knocked out.
favorites. No, but no, we're kind of favorites, to be fair, because it's not really tough teams. And we don't have any games in February.
I'm sorry
If we
to
do
say,
get knocked out,
Atletico Bilbao and Lazio are good enough to knock us out.
But bro, we're one of the favorites, and we're a good cup
If we
team.
get knocked out, it'll be March, and we won't have time. Then it's April, so then we're only going to have a few weeks. The season will be over by then.
Champions League, here we come, baby. Get ready, Dino. We're going.
Bumbaye is right. In this league, there is too many journeymen, too many experienced players, too many players that play for their livelihood. You're not playing. You're not trying to take out their lunch money. You're trying to take away food from their table. You see a team like Newcastle. You see, there are teams that fight, that have a whole bunch of grown-ass men that are ready to fight you for every blade of grass out there. If you have, people in your team, youngster that play for clique, and it's not gonna work. They're just gonna kick them around, take the fire out of them. We need tournament. We need experienced players. We need players that play with a purpose, players that have everything to lose. And then when you add an experienced manager to that, maybe we can get somewhere. This idea of bringing youngsters or bringing players from another league, it's just there.
Guys, imagine you put like the class of 92 and there was nobody. It's all just youngsters, maybe one guy or two guys. Then look at the team today, man. Either they never played in this league in their life, it's their first taste of it, or it's youngsters. It's young. Yoro, Mazraoui's new. Who else you got? You got Kobe Mainu's a youngster. Ugate's first season is new. Rasmus is a baby. Xerxes a baby. Ahmad's 22. Garnacho's 20. And now what the hell do you want? The only guy you look at really there with experience was like, okay, Bruno. And he's not playing very well.
Yep.
So you look around like City, Arsenal, man, it's loaded. Liverpool, round the block.
Especially Liverpool. You see Gabriel. You see Gabriel. What Gabriel is doing to Haaland.
Killer.
He's giving him a ball. Even when the ball is not there, he just on him.
It's either that or they've won something.
It has to be personal. It has to be personal.
You've got this team has not won anything. It's got loads of youth in there. Do you know what I mean? Or players that have never played in the Premier League. Add to that a manager that's come from Sporting Lisbon trying to play a system that is hardly been a great success and used big time by many in the Premier League. The ingredients are not quite there. And you look at Rasmus and you look at Xerxes and you're thinking, Flipper, these guys are learning off each other in training. Who's there? Rooney came in, bro.
They're working more on their celebration. You see, Rasmus with his celebration, they're working more on their celebration than working on their skills. And
standards, man.
Listen, guys, we can talk about this all day and night. We are done out here. Big up. And this is the latest news. Insiders are playing down prospect of Manchester United settlement on deadline day. So why the hell are you getting rid of Marcus Rashford then?
Yep.
We cannot
sell
him.
Amorim's not playing him.
And Nkunku, I don't want Nkunku. Go and get something better than Nkunku.
Give me a C. Give me an O. Give me an N.
Amorim.
Give me a T.
Listen,
give me an E.
Quiet, guys. Come on now. Stop taking this out of me.
Bro, that's the guy you need. Again, 2-1 against Juve. Scott McTominay, Aldino. I can't believe that's the guy that you should not have sold. That's what this team needs.
Oh, behave yourself.
Some balls, man. The guy that's not afraid.
The double people. Collier and Casemiro in the double people. Ericsson and Mino in the 10. And let's go from there.
Big up to Space Time Continuing. Says Manchester United is a commercialized club prioritizing revenue over preparation.
Yeah, 100%.
The pre-season tours are more about marketing than squad than getting.
Since Van Gaal said it, he said, "Listen, these tours are killing us. These tours are."
Emery came into clubs, took these clubs to another level without their players. Their players are professional. Amorim and his staff should be able to coach. INEOS propaganda is strong fan base getting brainwashed 100%. Jack here says we need to buy players for Manchester United for individual managers. What happens if Amorim gets sacked? Why do we have to buy a whole new squad for new manager? That's the same. Yeah, this is what we're supposed to be doing, but we're not doing that. No, explain to me why Amorim subbed up Kobe. Because he don't ever want to take off Bruno. That's why he never wants to take Bruno off the football pitch. That's the reason why. That's the reason why he took him off. Because he can never take off Bruno. Bruno can never be taken off in his life, ever.
Bruno is going to be the hill on which he dies on, man. That Bruno thing is going to be the hill.
I don't want to shout. The decisional indiscipline of Bruno Fernandes is a disgrace at the top level. It's an absolute disgrace. I can't tell you enough. But he gets away with it.
5 minutes into the game, I saw him dropping into the back three to make it a 4. And I'm like, what is he doing?
I told you guys this was gonna come to this. And remember we had this I had this tiffle with Sean in the beginning of this, before this guy came into the job. And I did state the 3 players that were gonna be problematic for this for Amorim. Rashford, Bruno, and Garnacho. Guess what? And it's not out of an agenda, guys, because I know these players are different profiles and they play a certain way. So in the system, they would not work. There is no place you have for them in a system like this. It does not diminish a player's ability or quality, by the way. It's just a difference in how they're going to be utilized in a system. It's whether they fit or they do not fit. You can be the best player in the world, you will not fit into certain systems. It is what it is. So, the revelation is there. A lot of times in football, you can just see things. It's just common sense. And it's not even if you've played the game or not. You can just tell that certain players are just not going to fit. And whether the manager takes that into regard or takes that into consideration, it's up to him. And unfortunately, he will die by this Bruno's the last one left now for him to actually, try. It's ironic, isn't it? But it is what it is, guys. Football is not very hard to actually digest and actually analyze and see. Certain players do not fit here, or those players do not fit there. And revelations are there. There's nothing more for me to say. We're in trouble. The ownership it needs to all go. I'm telling you guys, we're not going to be successful as long as INEOS and the Glazers are here together. Relegation, I think, is the only way to get rid of these guys, because Adidas leaves immediately. They cancel their deal straight off the bat. And there's not much coverage in terms of the championship as much as there is in terms of the Premier League. So a lot of sponsors are going to stay clear. So for us, the best thing we need to do is just get relegated. Personally, that's what I would hope for. Imagine if we get relegated and we're still in the Champions League. That would be funny, personally. But yeah, it is what it is, guys. I think we just need to take the L. I think people need to, it's not about being right in this essence. It's about the football club at the end of the day. And we all know what this football club needs. It's not about this player or that player or that player. I'm just trying to make a point that at the end of the day, we all want to be successful, we want to be the greatest club again. But the way we're functioning, unfortunately, with everyone being divided and everyone wanting different things, trying to prove to be right or wrong, nothing's ever going to change at this football club. Sir Jim, the mere fact is that Sir Jim is a fraud. He came here, he didn't know what kind of a task he was undergoing, and it's clear. There's nothing more to digest about this. He did not know what he was walking into himself. He thought he was going to come in here and be a hero and quick fix everything. Where Shazim himself laid out a full plan. Funny enough, Ratcliffe mirrored the same plan that Shazim flawed. The same plan that Shazim presented to every one of us. He mirrored the same thing. That's how a politician moves. Those are politician moves. That's what they do. Someone says something and
nobody asked him to go day 2 walking downtown dripped up with his men like he's some kind of a Gambino family trying to racketeer the place up. He should know why.
We don't need another hero. We just need Antonio.
Come on, man. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Listen, on that note, I'm ending the stream. On that note, I'm gonna go and get food, and I'm gonna try to get over the horror show that I saw. I need, for my own sanity. I need for my own sanity, people. I need something right now for my own sanity. if you want to hear more about the tactical breakdown, please, majority of you, go and check out Jarvis now. Jarvis is live right now. Tactical Devils with Stu. But big up to everybody because you know what? I don't need Conte. He wears a wig. He's wearing a wig. Antonio Conte.
no,
He's wearing a wig.
It's
Accept it like me, mate. All you need to do is accept it
really
like
quick.
the rest of us.
I'll just want to say
Oh,
something
man.
really quick, okay? Managers stand on principle and they also have the loyalty to their players. In this case, Amorim, what I would like to ask him is he should stand more on his principle than being loyal or biased toward his players, because I've seen a lot of managers lose their job because of their bias or loyalty to their players. So principle first and then players. Okay, Bruno needs to be benched. He needs to be out of that team. Simple as that.
Listen, big up to everybody, man. Big up to everybody who joined us today. Please, on your way out, smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. Hopefully, if I get time tomorrow, I'll do a video, maybe from outside Old Trafford. Because, honestly, it's a disgrace what's happening to this football club. Because of the genius of Fergie, we had the absolute head start over everyone. We won the most Premier Leagues, 13 league titles. And now, I see Brighton, Palace, Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest,
Villa.
all of them come to Old Trafford and slap us about like there's no business. And I see a coach being brought in that absolutely, they said they didn't want in the summer because they understood that we didn't have a players that could suit his system. Last word of the show. Go on.
Yeah, no, pretty much, it is what it is, guys. Like I said, it's unfortunately people don't want to hear the whole doom and gloom, but the reality is we're not going to get back to where we need to get back to until this ownership leaves. The entirety of it, all of it needs to go, all of it. And we had somewhat of someone who understood the gravity of the situation, and we let it slip, unfortunately. And now we're back in square one. We're back. We stuck with even a worse ownership. Imagine having a bad ownership and now you're having like two bad owners at the same time.
Relegation. I'll take it like the most of you.
I'll take it. I'll take it honestly myself. And
Big up.
big up to the chat. Smash the like button, people. Yeah.
Big up. Check out Let's TV. Black Rain at Black Rain on Twitter. Check out Moani Luwani 1979 on Twitter. Bumbaye, you'll never see him anywhere on socials. Mufc's not on Twitter, but Mufc, are you on Insta? Mufc must be on Insta.
Yeah, I'm on Insta. It's private though, but
out
yeah, I'm on there.
Are you Mufc on Insta, yeah?
Mubsy96.
Mufc96 on Insta. Listen, people, go and enjoy a bit of the breakdown tactical. There was nothing to fucking break down. When you get there, tell Jarvis and fucking Stu, there was nothing to fucking break down. We're fucking shit. That's what you need to tell him. When you go over there, Shekarian, tell him that, please. Alicia Sinkanova, can you tell that to Jarvis, please, from me? Big up to everybody. Big up to everybody. And INEOS are the worst of the fucking worst.
You called it.
Bastards. Those bastards. Get the F out of my football club. I'm Mr. Structure. If some of you guys want to follow me, there I am. There on Twitter. If not, take care. But please subscribe to the channel. I'm shadow banned because we shout for the Palestinian, for the Lebanese. We shout for the Congolese. We shout for the Sudanese. We shout for the people from Tigray, from Ogaden, from people from Haiti. We stand with people who are oppressed everywhere in this world, whether it's their religion, whether it's their gender, whether it's their orientation. We stand for the people at the Manchester fucking 10. Free those boys! Free those boys! And F this fucking system. Criminal industry system. There's no justice in this system. Free Palestine. Fuck Trump.
And if you're down with them too.
And if you're down with INEOS, what have you done with the Glazers? Fuck
F you too. Right, bro. How we roll.
Listen, no comment. No comment.
Good night.
Nice one.